The Unapologetic Journey: Why Resilience is Your Superpower. Have you ever felt like you're running on a treadmill that's set just a little too fast? Like no matter how hard you push, you're always one misstep away from being flung backward? That feeling of constant motion without meaningful progress. It's exhausting, isn't it? I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Coleia Thomas, a luminous force of nature who's revolutionizing how we conceptualize resilience, particularly for high achieving Black women. Coleia isn't just talking about resilience, she's living it, breathing it, and teaching it in ways that transform lives. Her insights cut through the noise of toxic productivity culture with the precision of a surgeon and the compassion of a healer. What she's building isn't just a platform, it's a movement that's giving women permission to redefine strength on their own terms. What struck me most profoundly about Kalea's wisdom was how she redefined resilience not as some superhuman ability to withstand suffering, but as a gentle, persistent journey of showing up for yourself, especially when no one's watching, especially when it's hard, especially when you're tired of your own story. The truth is, we've been sold a dangerous myth. The myth that strength means never breaking, that success means never pausing, that worth means never saying no. And it's not just leaving us exhausted, it's leaving us hollow. But what if I told you that the most resilient people aren't the ones who never fall? They're the ones who keep getting up, even when it's the fifth time, even when no one's applauding, even when they've memorized every crack in the floor. Let me share something that shifted my entire perspective. When Miley Teal was laid off from her job, she didn't just face unemployment. As a Black woman in the beauty industry, she faced a system that wasn't designed for her success. The statistics weren't in her favor, the funding wasn't flowing her way. The doubt, both external and internal, was as real as the bills piling up on her kitchen table. But here's what my league did: she took her severance pay money that many would have squirreled away for safety and poured it into a vision called Curlbox, a subscription service for natural hair products that spoke directly to Black women who'd been overlooked by mainstream beauty for generations. Was it easy? Let me answer that with a scene. My leak, surrounded by inventory stacked to the ceiling in her living room, packing boxes until her fingers cramped, wondering if she'd made the biggest mistake of her life. There were nights when doubt crept in like an unwelcome house guest, whispering that she should have played it safe, that entrepreneurship wasn't for people like her, that failure was inevitable. But Malik kept showing up, not with superhuman confidence, but with human persistence. She leveraged her marketing background. She built an authentic community online. She told stories that resonated because they were real, not polished, not perfect, just powerfully honest. Today, Curlbox is a multi-million dollar business that's been featured in Essence, Forbes, and Fast Company. It shipped hundreds of thousands of boxes nationwide. But more importantly, it's inspired a wave of Black female entrepreneurs and normalized natural hair care and mainstream beauty. That's what resilience looks like: not the absence of struggle, but the persistence through it. Not fearlessness, but courage, which, remember, can only exist in the presence of fear. And this is where I want to pause and really emphasize something Coleia Thomas shared that resonated deeply with me. Resilience is a journey, not a destination. Progress comes from persistent effort, even in silence. Think about that for a moment. Even in silence, even when no one's watching, even when there's no external validation, even when the only witness to your courage is you. Dr. Nadine Burke Harris embodies this truth perfectly. As a pediatrician in San Francisco, she noticed patterns of trauma in her patients that others were dismissing. She saw connections between childhood adversity and lifelong health that the medical establishment wasn't ready to acknowledge. Did she wait for permission to pursue this research? Did she need everyone to believe her first? No. She persisted in her work, built alliances with those who understood, and founded the Center for Youth Wellness to address toxic stress in underserved communities. She faced institutional resistance, the kind that makes you question your own sanity, funding challenges that would have derailed most missions, skepticism about the link between childhood adversity and health outcomes that felt like pushing a boulder uphill. But Dr. Burke Harris kept showing up day after day, patient after patient, study after study. She kept documenting what she saw, kept advocating for children whose voices weren't being heard, kept believing that truth would eventually prevail over tradition. Today, Dr. Harris's work has influenced national policy. She became California's first Surgeon General. She published the best selling book, The Deepest Well, testified before Congress, and transformed how we understand childhood trauma. But there were years of working in relative obscurity, years of being the only one who fully believed in her vision, years of resilience in silence. This is what Coleia Thomas means when she says that living unapologetically means embracing your whole story, including your struggles with health, finances, dating, business, and career. We're so quick to curate our narratives, to hide the messy parts, and to pretend the journey was smoother than it was. But there's power in owning the full story, not just the highlight reel. Tanya Rapley understood this when she founded MyFab Finance. She didn't just face personal debt, she faced the stigma of discussing money in the Black community. She didn't just lack financial literacy, she lacked models who looked like her in the financial independence space. But instead of hiding her struggles, she transformed them into her platform. She shared her journey transparently, the credit card debt, the financial mistakes, the learning curve. She created accessible resources that spoke to people where they actually were, not where financial gurus assumed they should be. She built a supportive online community where questions weren't judged and progress was celebrated, no matter how small. Today, Tanya has helped thousands of women pay off debt, improve credit, and build wealth. She's been named a millennial on a mission by Black Enterprise, featured in the New York Times, and led workshops nationwide. But what makes her story so powerful isn't just the outcome, it's the honesty about the process. The willingness to say, I struggle with this too. I'm still learning, I'm still growing. That's what living unapologetically looks like. Not pretending to have it all figured out, but being honest about the figuring out process. Not having all the answers, but asking better questions. Not being perfect, but being present. And this brings me to the third powerful insight from my conversation with Coleia Thomas. You have the power to rewrite your narrative. Never stop trying, no matter the setbacks. We often think our stories are written in stone, that our past defines our future, that one failure, one rejection, one setback determines our trajectory. But what if that's not true? What if your story is still being written? What if today's chapter doesn't have to look like yesterday's? Each of the women I've mentioned, Myleek, Dr. Burke Harris, Tanya, they all rewrote narratives that society had tried to assign them. They all faced moments where it would have been easier to accept the limited story others had written for them. But they didn't. They kept editing, kept revising, kept adding new chapters, even when the critics said the book was finished. And here's the beautiful truth: you can do the same. Maybe you're in what Coleia calls your soft girl era right now, learning to drop the superwoman cape that's been weighing heavy on your shoulders. Maybe you're tired of being strong all the time, of carrying teams and families and communities without anyone asking if you're okay. Coleia Thomas would tell you that softness is not weakness. It's a radical act of self-love. That saying no isn't selfish, it's sacred boundary setting. That rest isn't lazy, it's revolutionary. So, what does this mean for you, practically speaking? How do you apply these insights to your life right now? Colia suggests taking one area of your life where you've been holding back, whether it's health, finances, dating, business, or career, and committing to one bold, unapologetic action this week. Don't wait for perfection. Don't wait until you have it all figured out. Don't wait until the fear subsides completely. Just start and keep going. Maybe that means finally scheduling that doctor's appointment you've been putting off because deep down, you're afraid of what they might find. Maybe it means having that difficult conversation about money with your partner because financial intimacy is as important as emotional intimacy. Maybe it means applying for that position, even though you only meet 70% of the qualifications, because the men around you have been doing it with 50% for years. Whatever it is, do it unapologetically. Do it knowing that resilience isn't about getting it right the first time. It's about continuing to show up even after the fifth time. I want to leave you with this: the world doesn't need more perfect people, it needs more resilient ones. People who understand that strength isn't about never falling, it's about how you rise. People who know that their worth isn't tied to their productivity. People who recognize that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is rest, regroup, and return stronger. Your resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about transforming from constantly grinding to finally grounding in joy, peace, softness, and self prioritization. So I challenge you today, right now, to embrace your whole story, to keep showing up, especially when it's hard, to rewrite any narrative that limits who you can become. Because your journey of resilience isn't just for you. When you show up authentically, when you persist despite obstacles, when you rewrite limiting narratives, you create permission for others to do the same. Your resilience becomes a beacon, illuminating possibilities for people who may be walking in darkness. The next time you feel like you're on that too fast treadmill, remember, you have the power to adjust the speed. You have the right to step off entirely. You have the wisdom to create a different path forward. Your resilience, your beautiful, imperfect, persistent resilience, isn't just your superpower. It might be exactly what the world needs right now. Thank you